Hey guys, it's your girl T. So if you guys have not heard, Vanessa Simmons is pregnant, and Vanessa Simmons is RevRun's daughter. So when this came out over the weekend, a lot of people was going off. A lot of folks were roasting her. They're saying, how she gonna be knocked up? How she gonna be pregnant? She's out of wedlock. Your dad's a pastor. How you gonna be pregnant? Why isn't she married? So a lot of folks were just dragging her through the blogs. Other people were happy for her too, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of people, going in on Vanessa. So what ended up happening is today she decided to do a sit-down interview with Essence Magazine. And basically she's speaking on her father's reaction to her being pregnant out of wedlock. I'm going to go ahead and post you a small snippet of the interview right now, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary. Okay, so you guys just read this small snippet. And when I first heard about Vanessa having a baby on the way, at first I thought, well, maybe she was married. I don't really know too much about the Simmons girls. I mean, I know they had the Run's house, and his daughters are beautiful. They're both very, very pretty girls, and that damn Diggy is just adorable. I don't know if he's of age yet, so no pedo. But with that being said, at first I thought, well, maybe she was married, but then when I heard that she wasn't married, I was like, okay, that's her business. From what they're saying is that the father of her soon-to-be daughter is Mike Wayans, which is Damon Wayans' son. What I find funny about the whole situation is that people can be just very, very hypocritical. I do think, traditionally it's better to be married first and then have a child, because then it's more guaranteed that the child will have a two-parent upbringing for the most part. But as we understand in today's society, that's just not always the way it goes. I had my oldest son, when I was a lot younger, and I wasn't married. He was born out of wedlock. And then by the time me and my ex-husband had my second son, we were married and he was born in wedlock. Okay, we still got divorced. I mean, so, just getting married to somebody does not necessarily mean that your marriage is going to last and that you may not end up still being a single parent. Everybody's situation is different. Some people are able to parent their children better being in separate households. Everybody's situation is different. I think as long as both of those parents love that child and, take care of that child financially, emotionally, and everything else, I'm not going to sit here and judge her. And another thing I find funny is that people want to drag her and roast her, but these same people were just so excited for Kim Kardashian. You got Kim Kardashian out here having a baby out of wedlock. Nobody's really bringing that up. You have Courtney, who done had 2 kids with Scott and refuses to get married. Nobody really brings that up, but everybody wants to roast Vanessa. I don't see Vanessa out here with a porn tape. I don't see Vanessa out here acting ratchet. I don't hear anything about Vanessa. I think the last time I heard about her, she was modeling and acting. That's the only thing I really heard about her. You don't hear about her out here bad like that. So I didn't understand all the backlash. I think a lot of the backlash came because her father is RevRun, and they're saying, if her father's a pastor, then she should know better than anybody else. But last time I checked, Vanessa's name was Vanessa Simmons. Her name wasn't Pastor Vanessa Simmons. Her name wasn't Reverend Vanessa Simmons. Her name isn't Deacon Vanessa Simmons. It's not Maharaji Vanessa Simmons. It's just Vanessa Simmons. RevRun, that's her father's occupation. Her father chose to be a pastor. She didn't. Everybody has to walk their own footsteps in life. So I don't think it's fair to knock her because her father's a pastor. For all we know, they might be planning a marriage. They might be planning on getting married tomorrow. I just think people ran too deep with the story and they kind of went off on the girl really, really harsh just because her father's a pastor. And what I find funny is probably the main people going off on her on the blogs and talking shit. They probably got 1, 2, 3, 4 babies out of wedlock. They probably have a bunch of kids out here by different people. So make sure your household, make sure you're married and you're in a loving household before you go trying to knock somebody else who's having a child out of wedlock, especially when you don't know everybody's situation. And then another thing is, I don't understand what the big deal is. It's not like the girls on food stamps, SNAPs, EBT. I don't have to take care of Mike Wayans and Vanessa's baby. You know what I'm saying? My money that comes out my paycheck is not going to them. Last time I checked, Vanessa and Mike come from very rich families, and they're also making their own money on their own. So their baby's going to be straight. Be mad at chicks like Angel Adams. You remember her, the mother of now 16 children, who feels like, the city of Tampa needs to take care of her and all her kids? Be mad at people like that who sit here and have children back to back to back with no means to provide for them, and then it ends up being on the taxpayers. I can't get mad at Vanessa. I can't lose sleep over Vanessa's situation because I'm not paying for her child. She's able to afford and take care of her child. So I don't understand the uproar. I don't understand the hoopla. I don't understand why folks are so upset. But Vanessa, do your thing. Congratulations. Like I said, I've never heard anything bad about RevRun's kids. JoJo's kind of out there a little bit, but Everybody else seems to be on the right track. So obviously he's doing something right. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. How do you feel about Vanessa Simmons having a child outside of marriage? And being the fact that her father is RevRun, and do you think it's a big deal? Do you feel like, you know, it doesn't matter? Do you feel like it's their business? And how do you feel about people having children out of wedlock? Do you feel like it's just becoming the norm nowadays, or do you feel like we need to get back to that? You know, like I said, I think it's better to have a two-parent household. Regardless if you're married or not, I think it's better to have both parents on the same page raising a child. You know, I'd much rather have a two-parent household than a single-parent household, because you can't be everywhere at once when you're a single parent. So I will always stand by that, even though I'm a single parent now, but for a long time I wasn't, but now I am. But I would always tell young girls, you know what I'm saying, do it the right way. Try and get married. If you're not going to get married, make sure you try and work it out with your baby's father, because you're stuck with that person for life. You know what I'm saying? That will always be your child's father, so you have to get along for the children. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Deuces.